Just got in the muffler delete. I'm going to be putting saddle clamps on it using my V4 impact socket set off of TikTok shop. Just using a 1/2-inch ratchet, WD-40 for the bolts, and to hopefully make it slide off easier, and a hammer just to start, because sometimes this needs to soak in for a little bit. I'm going to come up under here and just spray it right now. Luckily, this muffler delete was cut to size for the LB7 muffler, which is amazing, so I don't really have to do much there. Now, this isn't a stock muffler or anything, so I'm not 100% sure what size it would be on a stock one, but the 15 fits best on this MBRP 4-inch kit, so that's what I'll be using. All right, so just as an update, I had to call it here. I couldn't get the rest of the exhaust off, so I just have it in the bed. I'm going to use an air hammer or grind or cutoff wheel or something to actually get it off, because I just couldn't. So yeah, I currently have the 4-inch exhaust sitting back here, but it sounds good. I just drove it with the part that is on, so yeah, we'll see. But hopefully this weekend, doing the new water pump and then rock lights and this full 4-inch. Currently trying to double check that it's a water pump, but kind of hard to tell down in there, and then from the bottom side it's just as hard to see. So starting on the rock lights. So when you do your rock lights, you're gonna want to like kind of mark them in the fender where you want them to go. Make sure it won't like interact with anything behind it and whatnot. Make sure you have a place to wire it through. Got some new stickers on it. More of y'all wanted to see this type of content, so update. The drill died, so charging that, but currently I'm going to be routing all the wires through, mounting this rock light, cutting the bolts. You don't want bolts to stick through and damage other stuff, so I'm going to be cutting off all the back of the bolts, then wiring these up, wiring up the front ones, and doing the 2 on that side, mounting the harness and whatnot. But should look sweet after it's done. Mounting 20, 3 per wheel well, 2 side, 2 front, 2 back. Start drilling the holes. I'm using this little drill bit right there, then this little hex and a little 7mm wrench to tighten them up. You're gonna want to do this for the wheel wells, or you can use self tappers if you really can't get to it, or if it's metal or whatever. Just do what you want to do, basically. Make sure it's in there good. This is what the backside is going to look like. You're gonna have to tighten all these up because you do not want them falling off, and it's a lot easier to access, obviously, outside of the truck. Okay, so got this fender liner done. You can see I try to keep it neat looking. Basically, you can get these looking messy quick. 20 wires times like 13, 260 feet. I mean, it adds up. So long story short, you want to keep it looking as neat as possible. Make sure it's tucked up under there. Got this side basically done, just need a wire and whatnot, but shouldn't be too long for now. Yeah, gonna try to get it all done within the next hour. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look sweet. All right, everyone. So basically the first 3 minutes of this video were kind of hectic. Sorry about that. Had a lot going on, whatnot. So that was kind of random. And I had to do a couple things over multiple days, go back on whatnot. But anyways, though, got all the rock lights on, got the exhaust done, and it sounds amazing. So basically, I had to take the cutoff wheel, took the cutoff wheel, and then put more slits into the muffler so I could bend them back more so it wasn't actually attached to the exhaust, and then basically just took a decent sized hammer and knocked it off. So that was actually super easy, and then got the exhaust sitting right up under there. So we'll show you what she sounds like. So yeah, absolutely more than happy with how it came out. I got a full 4-inch off of Amazon for like 40 bucks. Now let's get into why you most likely actually clicked on this video for the rock lights. So right now, it's still bright out, so can't really judge how bright they are, because yes, it is bright out, but they are solid. I've done this kit multiple times on multiple trucks. A lot of y'all probably don't know how to do rock lights, and even if you do, you might just want a little bit of advice on where to put them and whatnot. So this is what I'm making this video for. So my favorite layout, my go-to layout on every single truck, and I'll stand on this layout, 3 per fender liner. Okay, not every single truck, but extended cab to crew cab, short beds and long beds, this is a layout I'd recommend. I love 3 per wheel well, just looks nice. Love that style. 2 front. I put the front ones on the bottom of my bumpers, you can see right there. 1 there, 1 there. 2 on each side. one right there, and then one up there, and then 3 per rear wheel well. I still need to clean up that wire, just super busy and whatnot. And then 2 on the back. 3 per wheel well, 2 on each side, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. Works amazing. And then to route the wires, you want to make sure the wires cannot get caught on anything, or at least mostly anything. You want to make sure they're tucked up and under there to where a lot of the elements, sticks, mud, whatever, really can't get to them that much, which is why I always put mine on either the inner frame rail or up close to the body above the frame. And it's my go-to wiring for anything. And then I would say something that a lot of people get confused about, maybe even the worst part about rock lights for a lot of people going into it without much knowledge, popping the hood, without much knowledge, is the wiring. Not the rock light wiring, but the switch wiring, which I can see why. It's not something that's always super easy. So what you're going to want to do is find a hole in your firewall to where you can put a wire through for a switch. That's my main starting point. So you got to find a hole where you can put the wire through. It can basically be any hole. And then what I love are just simple round rocker switches. They work good. They're cheap. And then I also always put on an inline fuse. You can see I have an inline fuse. I still need to clean up these wires a tiny bit, but they work good. So you always want to run an inline fuse about 1 foot away from the battery for multiple reasons. Long story short, if wires get too hot, it'll pop that fuse and your truck will not be on fire. So that's the main goal. Always put in that inline fuse. You can get this inline fuse, like a 10 pack plus like 100 fuses for like $10 on Amazon. I'm not exactly sure, but super cheap. Same with the round rocker switch. I'm not 100% sure on the company, but I think it's like Dyer Tech or something. I don't know. But a round rocker switch is like $1, so you're going to want to run that. For this GMT 800 in specific, you can easily just pop off this bezel and then drill that out, put the hole through, get the wires up through there, and just plug it in. Super simple. Rocklight wiring harness, where all the lights plug into if you're doing a plug-and-play kit, or even if you're not doing a plug-and-play kit, it's the same thing. So the main positive wire, you want one coming into this switch, then you want one going from this switch out to your battery. This switch, especially if there's no lights or anything, you don't need a ground, you don't need negative, nothing like that. Just one positive going in from your rock lights, one going out to your battery. And then you're going to have a negative on the rock lights. You can ground that out wherever. I just grounded it to the battery because that's what I've been doing for like 5 years. But that is what I'd recommend. Also, you're going to need a couple terminal, I don't know what they're called, but you can just look it up. It's a little mount for the wire to connect to the terminal if you do it my way. But yeah, that is overall what I'd recommend. And then you end up with in total, with the wiring, the round rocker, the fuses, the rock light pack, sub $100. This is a WinUnite rock light kit off of Amazon for 20 rock lights for $75 on sale right now. I think it might go up to 100 soon, but I absolutely love them. I've put them on like 3-4 trucks, super cheap. Now, they are plastic. I know people that have them and they hold up over time, but they probably won't hold up as well as the metal ones for like $500. So personally, if you're just throwing it on a daily, whatnot, these rock lights are more than fine. Something a lot of people also might not know is how should I mount rock lights? And I said this earlier in the video, do it however you want as long as they're going to stay in. But what I'd recommend is if you have fender liners or something where you can easily put the bolts through that they come with, use those. That's what I did up here, just an easy little drill bit. Drill it out, put the bolt through, absolutely no problem. But sometimes you're in a little bit of a predicament. You might not easily be able to throw that bolt through. Like the ones up and under here that I showed you. You can see up in there, self-tappers. And I haven't had them get loose. I've only had it for a week or so with them on, but I know a bunch of other people who use self-tappers with no problems. So if you plan on using self-tappers, you'll probably be fine. Make sure they actually bite though. and it's not just a little drill part biting or anything. Make sure the actual threads bite and you get that self-tapper tight so it doesn't fall out, because you don't want that. But in reality, you should be fine using a self-tapper. So that's what I did. On the Ranger, I only have bolts, but on this truck I decided might as well try it. Threw on some self-tappers, works perfect. And as mentioned earlier, I had a coolant leak. I think I mentioned it earlier. Anyways, though, took a while, probably longer than it should have. Threw in a new water pump, and overall, it's solid. Not leaking coolant, so that is good. At least currently not leaking coolant. What's up, everyone? So as you can see, it is now quite dark out. So just to show y'all what the rock lights actually look like at night, here you go. Pretty bright, not gonna lie. So if you want yours, make sure to go to Amazon and check out the Win Unite rock lights. Less than $100, said and done. So make sure to check it out. And that will be all for today's video. If you liked it, please comment, subscribe, whatnot. Like it. Truly love all the support. And that's all.